Dear busy men, if you're trying to get in shape, this may be the most important video that you ever watch in your entire life. All this cookbook, workout time, 6-day a week meal prep BS that you're hearing online, forget about all of it. I want you to listen for me for a few minutes here. I'm going to tell you some of the most valuable information that you're ever going to hear in your entire life. You're working full time, maybe you got a family and kids, right? Or you want to be a father moving forward. You're a busy man. You want to make this happen. You've been wanting to get in shape for years now, but you can't make it happen. Let's talk about how we can make that happen, right? So I understand that you got a very, very busy schedule, and I understand that it's not going to be possible at all for you to go to the gym 6 days a week, meal prep, and overall, just make this happen by putting in 100% of your time into this. Because I don't want to sit in here, it's like, oh, like, look at you, you're so young, you have all this time, you have no responsibilities. First off, I do have responsibilities, but I just want to say that to any of you guys who are very, very crunched for time, you can make this happen, okay? You don't even have to go to the gym if you want to lose weight. If you really want to lose weight and you want to take this serious, the number one thing is consistency. And I know that you guys hear that in every single thing that you do, but right now, if I was to say for the next 90 days, do 50 push-ups a day and walk for 30 minutes, I guarantee you that you'd build muscle and you'd lose weight. It's just a matter of you staying consistent for those 90 days. Because at the end of the day, it's not a lack of resources, right? Like, I understand that you can go on ChatGPT and look up a workout program. You can go on Google and look up a workout program. It really is just a matter of you staying consistent and you having something that you can stick to at the end of the day. This is why the biggest thing that I would recommend to you guys, if you actually want to make this happen, is you have to start small, right? Obviously, if you were to say that, yeah, like, you're going to make a massive change right now, snap your fingers, and you're working out 6 days a week, every single day, like meal prepping, all that, it's never going to happen, and you're never going to be able to stay consistent with it. What I focus on with my guys, my one-on-one coaching, online coaching guys, especially, my guy Stellan, who lost 50 pounds in about, 4 or 5 months. Absolutely life-changing numbers. The biggest thing that we focused on to start was really just having some small steps, having something that he could actually stay consistent with. So he had a super, super busy schedule. He had things all day, every day, and he enjoyed playing basketball with his friends a lot and just like going out with his friends, and that was the form of exercise that he actually liked to do. It was something that he actually could stay consistent with, right? It's not me saying go on the treadmill for an hour a day after you go to the gym for 2 hours. Then you go home, you slam a protein shake, and then you drink a gallon of water, right? That's not what we're doing here. What we say is we want to get some sort of cardio going. We want to get some sort of, exercise going. And this doesn't even have to be a routine. Because I know, especially with January 1st and everything coming up, or not coming up, just gone by, people are like, oh yeah, like, I want to get a new routine. I want to get into some weight routine. I want to build some muscle, right? I don't really think that you need a routine specifically. And even if you want a routine, it really is just going to come down to you making like a 20 or 30-minute program, right? For one of my client, Brandon, right? He's got a 15-minute weightlifting workout going. He's, 40 years old or so. He's got a full-time job, and he doesn't have time for all this weights and all this cardio. So what he does about 10 minutes of weights, right? He's going to build muscle, he's going to boost his metabolism more, and he's going to feel great. And all it takes is 10 minutes of putting in some good music and having a good time, right? But it's just a matter of having that routine that you can actually stay consistent with, right? Because if I was to give you him an hour program, he probably wouldn't be able to do it all the time, right? So if I say, okay, like, we're going to do like a 10 to 20 minute workout here, and that's it. But we're going to go hard for those 10 minutes, right? So he's making the most of his time, right? But on top of that, it's just a matter of getting in, a little bit of exercise throughout the day. Just get your steps up, right? As a human being, you're not supposed to sit down like this in a chair all day long, all day, every day, like you might be doing at your job, right? It kind of makes you feel bad. Like, when I sit in a chair like this all day long, it's not going to make me feel good. Like, I feel like moving around, right? So the biggest thing that me and Stellan focused on to lose 50 pounds in about 4 or 5 months was starting off very, very small, right? So we just added in some cardio as well. So both of these guys, right? It's starting very, 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 very small, because I don't believe in massive, massive changes right here, right now. So for Stellan, he liked playing basketball with his friends. So he would do that, 4 or 5 days a week. And Brandon, who's already down about 9 or 10 pounds in about 10 to 14 days of working together, it's crazy, right? It's because he can stay consistent with it. Again, going back to the first thing that I was saying, if you can do 50 push-ups and 30 minutes of just some sort of activity in a day, that most likely is probably more than you're doing right now. And if it's not, of course you could reassess things and rebuild from there. But if you added that into your current routine and you're doing nothing and you stayed consistent with that for the next 90 days and actually stayed consistent with it, that would change your life. You would lose somewhere in the ballpark of around, 15 to 20 pounds, right? Some people are saying like, that's okay for 90 days, which you can lose. I've had guys lose upwards of 30 to 40 pounds in 90 days. It's incredible what you can do in a short amount of time. And I'm not coming on here and say, oh, look at these guys. I just want to prove to you guys that you can actually do it, right? You can even check out the results on my Instagram. It's just Gavin Eunice, if you wanted proof. But, I'm going to get in the future these guys to come on here and just talk about like what they've been through and how it was taking those small steps and really just building up from there, right? Because you got to start small. You got to start small. If there's one thing that you can take from this video, you have to start small. You can't just start at the top of the mountain and just go right to it, okay? So add in a little bit of exercise. And hey, if you want the weights for the cherry on top, the metabolism boost, hey, a little bit of muscle boost. And also, the thing about the gym and just all this stuff in general is that, once you do one thing, right, it makes you want to just add on another piece. You start small, and it just makes you want to build and build and build. And over time, before you know it, you actually enjoy this process, because at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you can't stay consistent with it. If you go in the gym every single day, if you eat your meals, you do your cardio, and you just hate everything every single day, it's never gonna happen, right? So regardless of how busy you are, there's some sort of way to make it happen, right? Elon Musk has the time. Jeff Bezos has the time. They can find the time. They're billionaires, working upwards of 18-hour days maybe. They can find the time, right? You can find the time if you really want it. That's when it comes down to like, how bad do I really want to change this, right? Like, I understand that, the top of the Mount Everest is maybe me wanting to lose 50 pounds, but how do you ever get there if you don't try? How do you ever get there if you don't take a small step? So please understand and get one thing from this video, that we're going to start taking small steps. We're going to start by doing something rather than nothing, because we want to get to the top of the mountain. We want to get in shape. We want to make this happen. Right, so I appreciate all of your guys' time in this video. If you guys want to check out my one-on-one coaching or just anything about working one-on-one with me to actually make this happen in terms of your busy schedule, regardless of how busy your schedule is, Jeff Bezos got the time. Elon Musk got the time, right? It's not a lack of resources, because you have all the ChatGPT, all the Google, all of it on the internet that you need, and you've been trying for years, most likely. It really is just a matter of what you do with this time. Right? It's a matter of how bad you actually want this. You want to make this happen now, or you want to wait for the perfect time to actually do it, right? And I can imagine that, if you could snap your fingers, you'd want to be that weight that you're that goal weight that you're thinking in your mind right now, right? You just got to take a small step, and you got to make a couple small changes, regardless of how big or small, and build and build and build. I promise that you can do it. And if there's one thing that you can take from this video, I promise you guys can do it. And I appreciate all of you guys watching. If you want to check out my Instagram, it's just Gavin Eunice. I'm taking a couple of slots for one-on-one coaching right now, and I'd love to help any of you guys out if you want to, explore how we can make that happen.